All righty, good evening. This is the March 20th, 2025 meeting of the Coppell Planning and Zoning Commission. The time is right at 6 o'clock. Our first order of business is to convene into work session. We'll review the cases and then reconvene into general session around 6:30. So with that, we'll move on to item 2. All right, are we on? Are we on, Cammie? Okay, so we'll start tonight with the roll call of the commission that's present. As I call your name, please respond with your presence. Notification of presence. I'm Edmund Haas, the chair of the Zoning Commission, Planning and Zoning Commission. Commission members, Vice Chair Sue Blankenship.
Present.
All right. Kent Hafman.
Present.
Ed Marr.
Present.
Then we have virtually Cindy Bishop. I saw her hand go up there. And Freddie Guerra.
Present.
Okay, Freddie's here. So with that, I'll turn the work session over to Ms. Mary Ron Boswell to introduce staff and review the cases.
Okay, so myself, Mary Cron Boswell, Senior Planner, Mr. Matt Steer, Development Services Administrator, Cammie McGee, Board Secretary. We have Jackie Newman, who's joined our staff over here. She's our Senior Admin Assistant. And Mr. Cole Baker
Wait,
with engineering.
The new
oh, you
professional
didn't say
engineer.
EIT?
EIT.
Well, close enough. Well, you're a candidate. You're a PE candidate,
I've
right?
been close enough. for a
Have you
long
taken
time.
the test?
So
Yeah, the test.
he's got to finish his,
All right.
his SCR.
Just waiting for the results.
Good for you. Congratulations.
He'll pass.
Yeah, just a little experience. All right, Mary, sorry.
If you can talk to my son to get him to take his test, we'd be good.
So we have on your agenda tonight, items 6 and 7, which are Carrollton Farmers Branch, ISD Ag Farm, the plat and the PD. Those have both been withdrawn from consideration. They have to work
You said
those,
withdrawn?
withdrawn,
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. They're gonna come back, they need to work out some items on their plans, so they're
6
gonna
and
come
7.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, so 6 and 7 has just been withdrawn. So number 8. So number 8 is Lake Breeze. If it looks familiar, because you've seen it before. So this is the exact same request that went before City Council for consideration at the end of 2024. The request to change the future land use map and the PD zoning was denied by council at that time. This request does not include any new or different components from what was previously presented and denied. Against staff advice, the applicant has decided to resubmit the same request. Based on the previous council direction not approving the proposal and the land use change, staff will not be supporting this request. So, essentially, I'll just give you a quick rundown. Essentially, nothing has changed, so it's a 71 unit condo proposal, 4 stories, 2 and 3 bedroom units, podium parking under the building. So they're asking for PD conditions where it's, more than the 2 stories that's allowed by the MF2 zoning, parking in the front yard, more than 10% 3-bedroom units.
Same amenity package.
Same amenity, nothing's changed, you've heard it all before. Same amenities, same elevations, same thing with the, the track on the roof, dog area, water feature, butterfly garden, fire pit, flex sport court, nothing's
Mary,
changed.
what did the council, why did they not approve this? What's the deal?
Essentially, they did not think it was the highest and best use and appropriate for this location.
There was
So-
some concern about its location being so close to the rail
To the rail,
and the noise and that kind of thing.
yeah.
Will they have the same opinion when it was a senior?
They denied it
Living.
both times.
Can you remind us how we voted?
Well, that's what I had asked.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. So when it came forward as the 55 plus,
Mhm. I heard it.
120 units,
It's like 3-2.
it was 3-2. Oh, good memory.
Who voted which way?
I voted for it.
I voted against it.
Yeah, I think you two were nays.
I think I was,
Yeah. Yeah. Good memory.
I can't remember that.
Did a little
I remember
research.
Did a
me.
little research. So at P and Z, you guys voted to approve it, 3-2. It went to city council November 14th, and they denied it 7-0. Came back November 2024 with this current concept that we're looking at. And at that time, you guys recommended approval 4-0. Eddie, Kent, Sue, and Cindy,
I was not there.
you were not there.
But Mary, it was not the same proposal.
It's, right, so the building, like, the stuff looks the same, but instead of 120 units, it went down to like 71 units.
And it went from senior living to
Sure.
non-senior living.
That's
It went
correct.
from senior
It had-
living to
Had a lot
non-senior
of
living.
one bedroom in the first reiteration.
And it was an apartment project, not a condo project, if I remember correctly.
Correct, so the first one was apartments, this one and the one you saw in November, this is a condo project, so no age restriction, ownership versus rental units.
this was, the last one was ownership.
Yes, even this one, so these are
Okay.
exactly the same.
Yep.
They asked me a question about, well, if you're a condo owner, could you rent it? I go, well, as long as they qualify for either long-term or short-term rental, yes.
Mhm.
And that, I think, had an influence on one or more of them.
And didn't we
Yes.
go into executive session on this application last time?
I cannot
No.
recall. No, in fact, I don't think we did
Bob only
because
started showing up last month.
Oh, there
yeah,
you
that
go.
was a different one. Yeah. That was the carport.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So, Mary, based on the conversations, in terms of the 2030 master plan, calling this area to be mixed-use community center, did they try to comply with that zoning?
so they're asking for a greater density than what that zoning, or what the land use
Yeah,
allows
that was,
for.
wouldn't that originally live work and then it
No,
lowered down to that at
I
one
don't think it
point
was ever live work.
on the comp?
Is that the main distinction, 10 units? The 10 per acre?
That was part of it, because, you know, it does talk about, in the future land use plan, about ownership versus, you know, a majority more ownership than rentals. But essentially, they turned it down,
Yeah.
yeah. So it went to council on December 10th, and it was denied 5-1. So, you know, we met with him after the meeting. He feels like that he could explain the project better and that he wanted to try again. So, against our advice, he has reapplied and is coming back before you with the exact same project.
Is this a project that we should be going into executive session?
This is what I'm suggesting we go into executive session on email.
Yeah, because I got questions.
I do too.
Yes.
So I'm gonna read the item in, and then I'll convene us in the executive session before the applicant presentation.
Before Mary's presentation or?
Yeah, even before my presentation.
I mean, do we wanna hear Mary's presentation first?
It's up to you, it doesn't matter to me, it
All right,
doesn't
well-
make any legal difference.
Commission, do you wanna hear the staff presentation first?
Sure.
I would love to.
Okay, get us all
Get us
refreshed,
also refreshed.
remember
Yep,
what we.
there you go.
That's fine.
Okay. Cindy or
I thought you
Freddie,
did
do you have
not.
any questions on the item?
I just had one question. It goes back to what Ed was asking before, but about the mixed-use community center. I guess what's the reasoning that they're not looking to do that first, or was that, of course, I missed those two meetings, but Was there any discussion to really comply with that mixed commercial use versus just the residential use?
He feels that this product and this project is what he wants to build, and,
Okay.
Fair question to ask the applicant.
yeah.
Why don't you ask that question, Freddie, of the applicant on why? It may
Okay.
be partly just from, it doesn't have any major thoroughfare exposure for retail or office, and so it's, because it's
Yeah.
off Sanders Loop, isn't it?
Yeah, he doesn't think
Yes.
that commercial.
Oh, it's also,
There's also a Beltline,
Beltline, or Denton Tap
which
there.
is what, 40,000 cars a day or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Thank you.
Cindy, any questions?
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
She's not muted, she says. We can't hear you.
Is there a chat option?
Is there a chat? You wanna bump off and bump back on, maybe? Oh, there we go.
Try to fix it when you're in. Try, fix it, oh, yeah, I can't read that.
That's pretty good. That's
On
pretty
Y
good.
end.
I'll try to fix it.
I'm trying to fix it
On my end.
Oh,
Charades.
On your end?
This is charades.
That's shorthand, almost.
That was pretty good.
Oh, she's way better than me then.
That was pretty good. I agree.
Yes, I too have questions that I'd like to ask you about.
So what you do have is, I got some emails, responses, today. So I've just made a copy of them for all of you.
I have mine.
Oh,
And I read them.
Everyone has a copy then?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like a copy paste.
That's for everyone.
Yes, it
For-
was.
I said yes.
So I didn't really necessarily read all of them, I read the first one.
She did for everyone.
I emailed, Freddie and Cindy a copy too, so they have them as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Cindy, I see you
We
moving
can't
your
hear you.
mouth, but we can't hear you.
You wanna just type it? We can see what you're typing.
Didn't this happen last time? We had an issue like this? It's weird.
Are you doing it on the phone or on a?
She's on a computer.
She could save her question, see if we can get her at least on the phone during the executive session.
Yeah.
And then we could.
Yeah, so essentially there's like
Oh, there
one,
it is.
How often did the
can
applicant, or can an applicant reapply?
well, that's
Good
a good
question.
question.
Right now, it's unlimited. We don't have anything in the ordinance keeps people from reapplying.
How much does it cost them? What's the fee?
I don't remember.
How much does it
500 plus
cost?
25 per acre.
Yeah, so probably around $700.
Yeah, so I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
So,
But
but we are
there's been
talking,
some thought from staff to maybe suggest that when something gets denied, that there's a moratorium into refiling it for a year or 6 months. We'll have to visit with the council about that. but-
So
Yeah.
you wanna make a rule because it happened once?
no,
Oh,
because
it's
it's,
happened more than once.
it's fairly common
It's
for
fairly
cities to
common.
do
If you
that.
go to Dallas, they deny it.
I've been here in Coppell.
We don't have that.
We try and talk them out of it, and this one, we just kind of talk
I
them out.
put,
Yeah. Or at least if you're gonna bring it back to have
Some difference.
some changes, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
we haven't even had a discussion about it with council.
but I just think it seems silly for one instance to make a rule for the world.
Oh, I understand. But it's not uncommon.
But here in Coppell it is.
Other municipalities have that.
We don't have Gary here anymore.
We're not other municipalities, we are Coppell. Coppell Power.
But
Yeah.
nothing's changed.
Talk to
That
Ken.
reminds me of Quick Trip, when the lady chastised us, that we were snobs. Remember?
Is she the one that called us Coppellians?
No, she thought I would call us snobs, so I thought, you're never gonna make a lot of gasoline and Slurpees, it's gonna deliver us. Yeah. Okay, no other questions of the commission?
No, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yay! All right, Cindy.
All right, just turned it off and turned it back on. That did the trick.
There you go. Sometimes it's all it takes.
Did
you
we
have a-
answer your question, Cindy, about how often we can reapply or how an
Yes.
applicant reapply?
Yes, thank you.
Anything else from staff? Or you want to review the council action items? Or?
Yeah. So, the following were approved at city council with ordinances to follow. Greystone Construction, the pickleball facility over on 121, and the text change amendments were.
Greystone was a small,
Small business on Howell.
yeah, did they mind up reorienting?
Yeah, they moved they
Yeah, they fixed it.
suggested, and they moved the garage door to the south side
Okay.
and the head-in parking and the landscaping. No one appeared. So I took.
Win-win.
And you guys did a great job.
Yeah, that was a good rearranging to make it work.
Okay.
With the one
And,
driveway.
It sounded like they were confirming that the other commercial businesses had access off Howell,
Yeah,
and so it's basically consistent with the other.
yes.
Yeah, there was a couple of questions about, did the other businesses have access on Howell?
Yeah.
And were all the commercial areas still commercial?
Right.
And there might have been one person that's living and has a business, living there and a business there.
Yeah.
It's still all commercial.
Any update on the carport? I guess that was,
it's been taken down.
it has been taken down?
When was it taken down? I drove by there maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's still up.
I think it was supposed to be down by 15th or the 20th.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was told it was taken down.
did you see pictures?
We can
I
take a
had my
field
staff
trip.
send me pictures.
Hey, we can get done early
You want
tonight,
visual
depending on how long you
evidence.
take, and we'll all drive by and see.
Well, I did drive by a couple weeks ago. It was still up. I thought that was interesting.
I'll have to drive by now and confirm.
Since we have a few minutes, any upcoming items that we
Should be
should talk
aware of.
about, or, yeah?
We've got, I think, one item coming this next month, right? The other one's administrative.
Yeah.
So we're looking at an event center. Over
At the-
off North Point, 121.
Over by the hay
Oh,
loft.
near the church.
Oh, okay, okay.
Public
Is
or
the church
private?
now selling off property?
Public,
Private.
Yeah. Maybe
private event center.
Mhm. Like, yeah.
private event center.
Okay. What about the comp plan? Anything for,
Well, so what we're gonna do is, we're writing RFPs for special area plans first. So we're gonna do one for the old Coppell area, looking at the boundaries there. And then we're gonna do one for special intersections throughout Coppell. And so we're gonna get those 2 special area plans done prior to the actual comp plan. They'll incorporate those 2 plans. So that's
From-
next on our list.
What consists of Old Coppell, or is that Old Town? You saying Old
That's
Town?
Old Town,
Old
yeah,
Town,
yeah.
There's some thought about expanding it,
Mhm.
some of the residents and businesses.
last time I went through there, I noticed the property was raised, gone.
Oh, you mean the old church?
Oh, yeah.
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 The owner did that.
Did they?
Mhm.
Got a demo permit.
There was, when we met for the joint meeting with the Ford and the other committee, I'm drawing a blank on it.
Smart.
There was a desire by, I think it was the Ford committee, or maybe it was the technical, they wanted to present some of the items they had to us
Collaborate.
formally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Workshop
still
at
something
meeting.
that's on the horizon, or?
We'll have to touch base with them, see
Okay.
if they want to.
I remember they were pretty excited about, yeah, chance to talk. I know they presented to the council, but they wanted to
Yeah.
be a little more
Yeah.
collaborative with us. Okay?
We'll follow up with, meeting minutes from your meetings and send that over to them. Because I know that was a task that we were gonna start doing.
Okay, anything else?
Focus North Texas was good.
Oh, that was good.
Enjoyed it.
I learned a few things.
Oh, yeah, what did you guys learn? Anything?
Yeah, some of the legal stuff that's coming down the pipe.
That was a good session.
Yeah, it was.
Affordable housing, big topic in terms of how the state's thinking about affordable housing or potentially some things of, they compare to the example of in Europe, if you're, in different areas, if you're building a two-story hotel that, you may not need to be 100% ADA compliant, so having an elevator and sprinkled and so forth, that you may be able to, you can build those kind of products cheaper if everything, it doesn't have to uniformly adhere to one standard. And so, conceptually, but it was in the vein of just affordable housing. How do we get more affordable product out there?
Okay.
Yeah, good.
What about anything on accessory dwelling units on that one?
No, I don't recall. Do you?
No, but I just feel like I'm getting a lot of questions
Mother-in-law
regarding
had-
accessory dwelling units and how they're treated
Right.
from impact fee perspective.
Oh,
Okay.
Is that a separate, there's some legal things there, but if it's the same lot, they've already been hit with one impact fee, but yet there's an impact because there's an increase in demand. If there's a separate meter or separate parking, so.
Exactly, yeah.
Add load to the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was specifically excluded or
But you're
taken
not-
out on the bill that was proposed, right? They were saying you can't impose impact fees on those, on that one bill or
Yeah,
there's a
but you're
couple
not
bills.
building like a 2,000 square
No.
foot
In theory,
accessory.
it's something small,
But if
but
everybody
what happens
does-
in reality, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If everybody
But still, if your
did it-
accessory unit's limited to 600 square feet or less,
Yeah.
or whatever it might be.
But if there's a separate meter, right, that's
It has to
another
be
meter.
balanced.
Yeah, shouldn't be water.
But that's a proposed bill change.
yeah.
Yeah, it causes a
Well,
lot
well,
of,
so-
then you got rental, what grandma dies.
We do have something
You
on
can't just
this,
limit it to
Yes.
grandma.
we do have something on this year's work plan where we're supposed to analyze accessory dwelling units versus lot coverage requirements. So you guys might see an ordinance come before you, allowing
But a lot of
for-
them, they put them over the top of the garage, so it's the same square footage on the
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
coverage.
Yeah, I was
Lot
thinking more
coverage would be the
of
same square footage.
accessory
Separate
dwelling,
unit.
a separate
Like a
unit,
separate-
yeah.
I think that's
A
what,
true
Yeah,
grandfather,
like
Yeah.
mother-in-law suite.
Yeah, true
Is it-
separate unit.
you started to say square.
The ones,
footage
the ones that
would be
were,
the same,
people have asked us and
because
have been
it's
that
over the
style.
top, But the lot doesn't do that.
So we would look at
Yeah.
SF 12 and larger lots that could accommodate an actual separate unit and do that analysis. But yeah, you're right, they're like mother-in-law's quarters.
You have to
and
adjust
above.
all the setbacks.
Yeah, we would have to look at what sort of setbacks would apply to those units.
How about,
Even on a big lot, that'd be difficult to build.
Might- Yeah, it might be a height requirement, would have to be adjusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
Because if you're just doing it over the garage, it's really just an addition, it's not
Yeah.
anything else, right? It gets into all the, do people want a separate kitchen, because that's not allowed. There's all other domino effect.
Yeah. What qualifies it as another unit?
Yeah, outdoor entrance, its own laboratory and kitchen.
Kitchen, yeah,
And
and
bedroom.
bedroom.
If it met those three elements and it was added on, then you may want to look at it.
interesting, yeah, that would be an interesting discussion to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in context of family units, affordability, whatever, right?
Yeah, well, and we do have a changing population here in Coppell. We've got the more of the Asian population, and we do have a larger family unit living
Yeah, they're extended
Multi-generational.
family.
multi-generational.
Multi-generational, yeah.
Let's see, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming just generally more popular, getting to the affordable housing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's expensive, like, you get kids that graduate and
Yeah.
they can't afford to buy
Or
it.
senior living's
But-
getting more expensive.
But there's
yeah.
also the load on schools,
Yeah.
if it is extended
Absolutely.
family and all that.
For sure.
A lot of things to take into account.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
We got 5
Cindy,
minutes.
Freddie, anything else? Okay. We'll recess our work session and we'll reconvene into general session here, 5 minutes or so, quick break. Okay.
Okay, the time is 6:31, and the Planning and Zoning Commission is reconvening into general session. From our agenda today, we have item 4 on the agenda is citizens' appearance. Is there anybody who'd like to speak on an item that's not posted on the agenda? Seeing none, I will move on. Cammie, did we receive any requests virtually? Okay. Item 5 on the agenda is to consider approval of the February 20th, 2025 meeting of our commission. Are there any comments, or is there a motion by the commission on the minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Move to approve the meeting minutes of February 20th, 2025, Planning and Zoning meeting minutes.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Marr. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Blankenship. Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Vice Chair Blankenship.
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra.
Aye.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Aye.
Commissioner Haithman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Abstain?
All approved, none opposed, motion carries.
Okay. Items 6 and 7 on the agenda dealt with the Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD, the Ag Barn addition. That item has been withdrawn. The ISD withdrew their application. That was an item that was continued from our February 20th meeting. So with that withdrawal, they would just resubmit if and when they get their stuff in order. Okay, moving on to item 8 this evening. That is to consider approval of PD-313R2-MF-2, that being the Lake Breeze condominiums. A zoning change request from commercial to plan development number 313, revision number 2, multifamily 2, to approve a detailed site plan for a 71-unit, 4-story condominium apartment complex on approximately 4.4 acres located on the east side of South Beltline Road and west of Sanders Loop, approximately 660 feet south of East Beltline Road, and an amendment to the 2030 Comprehensive Master Plan from mixed-use community center to urban residential neighborhood at the request of Coppell Lake Breeze, that being represented by Vijay Bora, the property owner. We have a staff presentation by Ms. Mary Perone Boswell. Mary?
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. This is item 8. So this exact same request went before City Council for consideration at the end of 2024. The request to change the future land use map and the PD zoning was denied by City Council at that time. This request does not include any new or different components from what was previously presented and denied. Against staff advice, the applicant has decided to resubmit the exact same request. Based on the previous council direction, not approving the proposal and the land use change, staff cannot support this request at this time. So to go into a little bit of detail as to what they're proposing, it's a 58-foot in height building, 4 stories, and is proposed to contain 71 condo units. So condominium units, meaning the individual units, are for sale. The applicant has indicated that a condo board will be developed for the property. The board will address all maintenance of the building and site amenities. The property, as you can see, is L-shaped and matches the site plan showing the L-shaped building offset from South Beltline Road. The southern portion of the property has an Atmos gas line easement that runs through it and is 100 foot wide at the widest point. The main entrance will be off of South Beltline Road. To the north is the Dart Silverline passenger rail. In terms of the base MF2 apartment requirements, they are meeting the requirements relating to parking, and they are proposing to provide some EV parking among the 202 parking spaces provided. So as recently described, this 4-story, 58-foot in height building requires PD conditions since the number of allowable stories and height for MF2 is 2 stories and 35 feet. Because of the property constraints, parking is being provided on the northern portion of the site with parking in the front yard being requested. They're providing covered parking for more than half of the site through a combination of podium parking and covered parking which exceeds the requirement. A PD condition is also being requested to allow 39 three-bedroom units, which is more than the typical 10% listed for MF2. So in terms of materials, I'll hand out the material board here. The building elevations and material board show a variety of materials and colors proposed for the building. 3 different colors proposed, ranging from a light cream to a darker beige, cement plaster, Acme limestone, and aluminum composite material. Here we have some of the colored renderings proposed for the building. First floor parking area will have the limestone with the cement plaster and 2 residential units on the first floor. The other floors will be a combination of cement plaster with a blended brick, a herringbone pattern brick accent, and ACM panels. Each unit will have an inset balcony with a steel sun canopy. There were no proposed signage submitted with this development, and any proposed signage will have to conform to city requirements. So here's the floor plan for the building. To the left is the first floor plan. To the right is floors 2, 3, and 4. The room unit breakdown for the 71 is as follows: 32 two-bedroom units with a minimum of 1,300 square feet. That's outlined in the purple. Excuse me. And 39 three-bedroom units with a minimum 1,600 square feet, which will be accessed from an air-conditioned interior corridor, and that's outlined in the kind of yellowy beige color on the screen. There are 2 units on the first floor, and the remaining will be spread within the second and third floors, each accessible by stairs and 2 elevators. So there is a PD condition, as I mentioned, to allow 39 three-bedroom units, which is more than the typical 10% for MF2. They are proposing an area on the main floor for a multi-purpose room for residents, about 2,100 square feet. And on the roof, they are proposing a walking trail with a minimum 42-inch parapet. Proposed exterior amenities include a dog park, a fire pit with seating area, a water feature with a seating area, a butterfly garden, 2 flex sport game areas, and then there will be a tubular picket fence with brick columns spaced 30 feet on center, proposed for the north and west portion of the property where it abuts the commercial. The third floor of this complex is proposed to be in line with the train tracks for the DART. There's approximately 82 feet separation from the building to the tracks. The DART anticipates weekly service for the Silver Line to be from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. However, it is possible that it will start as early as 5 and as late as 11. So it runs every 60 minutes during the peak hours, such as weekday commute times. It will run every 30 minutes. I'm not sure if the line is in operation currently. No, not yet.
And then the freight line is used in off hours, but it will not use this portion of the.
Right.
I guess I should say that. Just so you understand, DART owns the line, but it does have freight from 11 to 5 overnight, but the freight will not use this portion of the DART line. It will still cross over at the road on Denton Tap. And then this will hook back into it, just so you understand.
So the train lines under construction, the tracks are elevated in this particular section, measuring from the ground to the bottom beam of the track, approximately 19 feet, another 7 feet of support, additional 3 feet to the handrail on the tracks. So this roughly lines up with the third floor of the proposed complex. The applicant is proposing to provide sound-reducing windows on the north and west sides of the building. Staff would add a condition to the recommendation that if this building is constructed, that all windows on the building be sound-reducing and not just those on the north and west side of the building. And so they are also providing more than the typical construction to address noise concerns. Here we're looking at the landscape plans. So the landscape plans are showing that they do exceed the minimum landscape requirements. There is a large portion in the Atmos gas easement, that's about 21%, and about 21% outside of that easement. They are proposing 65 overstory trees and 20 accent trees. The 2030 master plan calls for this area to be mixed-use community center or single-family residential with a maximum density of 10 dwelling units per acre. The area was to be mixed use consisting of both neighborhood and community serving commercial, retail, and office uses, or medium-density single-family urban residential with commercial services and transit services accessible within a short walking distance. This area is currently served by office warehouse buildings to the west, Cypress Waters to the east, a bank to the south, and then a new Dart Silver Line passenger rail abutting the northern property line. So part of this request is to amend the future land use plan for this site to urban residential neighborhood, which allows for higher density uses that serves the needs of the residents. The idea was to have a mix of housing with the majority being owner occupied and not all rentals. Condominiums are a form of ownership where it is individually owned. Residential unit in a complex or building of like units. So they would own their units but share common spaces and amenities. So that's what they're asking. And this is just an illustration of where they are in relation to the commercial buildings in Coppell and the items in Cypress Waters. So because this is a zoning change request, we did send out notices to property owners within 200 feet, as well as 10 additional courtesy notices within 800 feet. We did receive one response in favor within the 200-foot notification area. That's outlined in the bright green on the screen. We did receive some other responses, 4 responses in favor that were outside of the 800 feet, and then 2 additional responses in favor from City of Dallas residents. So staff is recommending denial of this request. If the Planning and Zoning Commission decides to recommend approval of the request, staff is recommending the following PD conditions. 1, that there may be additional comments during the building permit and detailed engineering review. 2, that a replat will be required. 3, that the installation of a southbound left turn decel lane on Beltline Road at the existing median opening serving this site. 4, building elevations be approved as presented. However, the building must provide for noise attenuation for all the windows on the building, as well as all exterior walls, including continuous insulation on the outside of the studs with a minimum R19 insulation. 5, that the site lighting shall meet City of Coppell requirements. 6, to allow for parking as shown on the plans. 7, to allow for 4 stories and a height of up to 60 feet. 8, to not restrict the number of 3-bedroom units to 10% and allow the proposed 39 units. 9, to amend the future land use plan to urban residential neighborhood. And 10, to require the HOA documents prior to filing the plat. So that is the end of my presentation. I believe the applicant is here as well, if you have further questions.
Okay, prior to the applicant presentation, as authorized by section 551071, subsection 2 of the Texas Local Government Code, this meeting may be convened into executive session for purposes of seeking confidential legal advice from our city attorney on any agenda item listed. With that, I'm going to request that we convene into executive session. Okay, the time is 7:14, and the Planning and Zoning Commission is reconvening into general session. Prior to our departure into executive session, Coppell staff member Mary Prone Boswell read the case into record, and now we have the applicant presentation on the proposed development. So with that, I'll turn it over to the applicant.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you everybody. Thank you, the commissioners. Thank you for listening our case today. So we own this land for almost like a decade. Means we want to visualize something very good for the city of Coppell. And this particular intersection, Beltline and Beltline, is a very tough intersection. Means if you have seen in the last decade, there's not much success in this intersection. When I started assembling this, we wanted to visualize by everything out there between Sanders Loop and Beltline, and we wanted to do a good project. And we had a tough time. Means we had a failed strip center on Beltline there, and we have a failed small car wash turned into this, and it's a very challenging site. Means on top of it, DOT did not help us the case. So if you look at all the sub businesses around it, not a lot of businesses are really making a lot of money. I mean, if you look at the gas stations don't have the traffic. It's not supporting that. And I will let me present what we are trying to do here. Office market right now in 2025 is all-time low in the whole U.S., not just Dallas market. I am part owner of the building on 635 and Beltline behind the hotel Element Hotel. I am we own a lot of office buildings in this market. I also have 100,000 square foot office building on MacArthur, which is completely empty. So this office building is a tough market here. So means Cypress Water is extremely successful because they have an ecosystem, and it is there. Coming back to our project, what is that we are trying to do here? Means I thank each and every planning commission member, because when this case was presented a few months ago, not too long, less than a couple of months ago, everybody voted for favor of it. Nothing changed, not even a bit it changed. There's the same exact application, same exact thing. I want to clarify each and everything what your concerns are. If you have any concerns, I'm happy to work with the city staff. I'm happy to do that. I will develop an extraordinary product. We're not trying to do any cheap product here. This is going to be a very upscale product. I am trying to show you some inspirational pictures of what we are trying to do here. I can relieve your concerns, and you can ask, and I have a lot of support letters also in favor, and with the neighboring people. We are going to submit to the city staff. We already submitted to the city staff. We have additional letters, and between now and city council meeting, no, there are more chairmen. I have a lot of them. So between now and city council, we are going to gather a lot of support. Means we don't want this to be. This is going to be a very successful project. This project is going to be $40 million plus kind of project. We are not trying to do any cheap construction here. This is not the intent here. So coming back to our presentation, if you can, these are some of the inspirational sample pictures of what our project inside looks like, not the outside. I want you to visualize what the inside looks like. If you look at the top picture, if you look at, see the quality of the appliances, the quality of the material. What we are going to do is this is like a condo apartment. This is not a regular apartment where you rent it for. You need to compare this with something upscale. I'm going to. If you look at all the amenities, everything inside of the unit will be upscale. Either the appliances, the material, the texture, everything, the floor, the air condition, everything. And we are also going to use the latest technology in building this. So we do have a $20 million concrete plant we are building in Corsicana, which is under commission and which is going to finish. I did present the picture of that to the video, 5-minute video to the city staff. And we will work with the city staff if they are welcoming that kind of product. So if you go to the next picture, so if you see the doors, windows, everything, all the material what you see is upscale. Means if you see the countertops, if you see the cooktop, the cooktop, these are not single family apartments renting for $1,000. These are apartments going to be, if anybody wants to downsize in the city of Coppell, pretty much there are no options. If you want to sell your home, we are in a different situation. In the last decade, if you see, the interest rates went from a 6% interest rate to 2% interest rate, and then now we are at a high interest rate. So during this time, what happened is, there are 2 points I want to talk. Because a lot of people are locked to their homes. Nobody wants to sell their home. If they sell their home, the only way to get into a new home is paying a 6% interest rate. So nobody is selling. If people want to move, there are less options out there. And the second thing is, a lot of people want to downsize because of their family situation. Let's say one elderly person, they left only one person to live in the home. They don't want to maintain the yard. They don't want to. This is an upscale version. If you want to compare with something, a Flower Mound Tower on the lakeside. This is like something. This is an opportunity. This is if you or chairman, anybody wants to look for options. There are no options in city of Coppell where people can own a piece of place where they can lock it and go on a vacation. If somebody wants to go a 10-day vacation or a 20-day vacation without worrying about their stuff with the security and without taking a lawn and anything, there are no options. Pretty much either you can rent it. I mean, there are very few options, but I mean, we need more options like that. One of the problem is the school district. I'll take my subdivision. My daughter right now is going to graduate this year from city of Coppell. We only have one daughter, and she's going to go to a very good institution. Probably she'll end up in SMU or she'll end up in UT. But after that, we don't have any kids going to city of Coppell. So this is the same situation. All my friends, everybody in my subdivision in another 5 years, there are not going to be kids going to city of Coppell. So because of this unique situation, means I have my neighbor Soto. He is probably 70 years old, and he is by himself. And if he wants to downsize, there's nothing. I mean, this option is not for bringing a rundown version of this. Don't think this as a rundown version of apartments. This is something we are selling for more than $300, $350 per square foot kind of thing. It's the rents. If you want to, this is not something cheap product by any means. If you look at the next picture, these are only inspiration examples. I want you to see this. We can work with the city staff and everybody. I really thank each and every planning commission member for voting this project. I mean, this is not something I'm taking easily. We do a lot of development. We are doing a big master plan community, and I'm not sure of the time. You can remind me if I'm running out of time, but I know we have limited time. But I respect each and everybody, your time committing to the city, and this is you are doing out of passion, and I really value this. I mean, you need to remember this case has nothing changed, zero change from your decision which you took 2 months back to today. The reason why I'm not trying to make it a very point is we are trying to do for something. We are going to do a better product. We are going to work with the city. We are going to work with the city council. The only way to make this happen is with the city's cooperation. So this is I want you to point out to our 2030. Can you go to the last slide, please? So these are the different examples of different things. The last slide talks about, this slide. So we talked about high-end finishes, oak and limestone marble, and basically we want to cater the high-end customers who are in retirees, like 50 years plus, they want to downsize. They need not a cheap product. They want something good. This is what we are offering. So I want you to go to 2030 plan. Mary, can you switch to 2030 plan, comprehensive plan, which was done by city of the other, yeah. This is what the city, this is from the City of Coppell website. So if you look at, this is very near to the, site is very near to the new built train station. This walking distance from the train station. It's not exactly the train station. So it is walking distance from the train station. It can be considered as a transit-oriented development. If you look at this plan, so there are different sections. If you can look at page 55, 55, it means I don't, I mean definitely if you can, yeah, one, these are the pages. If you look at page 55, 115, and 117 and 121, these are self-explanatory. You can look at these pages, and this talks about, this is what City of Coppell envisioned. If you look at page, yeah, look at that page. If you look at that scenario, see how beautiful it is. There's no, density is not a problem there. Means you are looking for this, means Coppell, if you look at 635 on Beltline, this is a beautiful shopping complex where first watch, I eat my lunch there. My office is in Cypress Water, means I eat my lunch there. Means that complex has been struggling from COVID. Means this is nothing new. I'm not trying to teach, means we are the largest developers in the city of Prosper after Jerry Jones, and we manage probably around 1,000 acres in the city of Prosper. And I am a resident of Coppell. This is a project which I want to make it successful. This is not something, we are not coming to the city of Coppell to waste anybody's time. This is going to be a product which everybody will be happy. Means we want to find a common ground where we can work with the city. If city wants something, let us know what you want. We are happy to accommodate. We'll have a HOA documentation. Within the HOA, if there are any repairs, we'll put a reserve budget. For to repair any exterior walls, anything is needed, there will be reserve budget. If somebody is paying $300 per square foot or $350 per square foot, they're not going to leave their apartment run down. Means we will have measures and everything. We'll not only do that, we'll submit documentation to the council and the planning and zoning and council, everybody. Means if you want additional information, please ask us. Hey, this is what we need to make this. And on top of that, we will put high insulation. We'll put high insulation where the sound barrier is eliminated. We are going to use a new technology where the sound insulation will be very high. We'll do R9 insulation. We will do adequate light of street lighting, site lighting. We'll meet or exceed the recommendations of the city because we want to deliver a very good product. And we will limit our height restriction to 60 feet. And not only that, we will make it as walking friendly. We have an acre or 2 acre of a green park where we can use it for walking spaces like throwing disc, some kind of activity. On top of it, what we are trying to do is, since we are planning to do this build with a concrete, on the top floor, we want to make it a flat roof and make it as a walkable. It means people can walk on the terrace, on the top floor. So that is a place where in the evenings, sunset, they can watch sunset, they can have a quiet space. So I can show you what we are trying to do. This is not by any means, I don't want to go, I'm not a great salesperson, but I am going to tell you that means I will work with the city. City has the good standards. We will meet those standards or exceed those standards. So you don't need to worry about anything not being done, because at the end of the day, if we don't do it, you won't get a CO. Means we know that. Means we want to work with, means so far, means we have spent a lot of money on this case, and I know money does not really matter to the city council or planning members. I know that, but this shows that our persistence and commitment to make these things happy. So I respect each and everyone for taking time. I am very happy. Last time, this project was unanimously approved. I have a lot of respect for each and every one of you. Last time I did not come to the council meeting, because there are some things which are not, I don't want to discuss that because there are not very good things. But I want this time I'm taking the leadership of making it happen, and I will come to the council and make it approve and get it done. I really want tonight your support. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will openly, heartily, without any sugarcoating, I'll tell you the answer. Means I will not skip any question, any concern you have. And this product is not only going to be for elderly people. If new people wants to come to the city, young families wants to come to the city of Coppell, there are no options. There is an option there for a good family, two people making 150,000 income. Where is an option for them to buy a 400,000 home? How many options we got? Nothing. I mean, we are not burdening the system. This is only 72 unit project. This is not, means if you look at 10,000 units being built next door in Cypress Water versus we building 72 units, it is ocean in the bucket. It means drop in the bucket. We are not going to, if you compare this traffic-wise also, it's not going to be a big problem. If you put a commercial complex there, the amount of traffic in and out versus 72 residents, it's very less. We have a traffic study to show that. Means in fact, we had meeting with the staff and we told them, please recommend what it takes to approve this project. Means they didn't have any suggestions for her. Means we worked with them. We want this to be a win-win project. Means at the end of the day, I really thank each and everyone for your time and commitment. Means I have seen chairman a long time. You have been on the PNC council for a long time. Your time means again at the end of the day means I really want your support. Means I want a way to. This is a very tough site. This site is not an easy site. Means you can't just go and put a laundromat or something like that. Means you can do commercial by right of commercial. You can do something which is not so much revenue generating or anything like that. So I'm not talking only about revenue generation to the city. We need to provide something which is valuable. This is a transit-oriented development. Means people, if you look at land in Coppell is almost built out. Means there is not much out there. I am surprised, like I'm the only case tonight. But I'm telling you, I'm passionate about doing this project because if you have time, I can play that video I have. But and it will take me a 5-minute video of our new plant we are building in Corsicana. What it is a Elimatic plant. If you want, I can show you that if you have time. I don't know if you got time or not because I want to respect each and everyone. What that is, we are trying to do sandwich walls with high-end insulation material in there. So that is basically it's basically a new it's not a new technology, it's a technology, a 30-year-old technology done in Finland. It is done across all that. I can email you that video. You can watch that at your convenience, but it is something we are bringing means we have done some business with a lot of home builders. We work with a lot of home builders, and we want to do something revolutionary, like a 3D printing. It's not similar to 3D printing. This is like a tilt wall, assume a tilt wall. I could have probably showed you that, but I don't want to waste your time. But it is a cool product. Means at the end of the day, that is not what if City of Coppell does not want that product, we are fine. We just want to do traditional.
Have staff seen that video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are showing.
I don't want to interrupt your presentation, so I'll let you finish.
Yeah, we did. Staff has seen the presentation, and staff can comment on the presentation. Okay. I'm happy to listen to that. Okay. Thank you, Chairman. I can always answer any questions you have, please.
Okay. All righty. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We collectively discussed it. There are some questions we have of you. Mm-hmm. But my first question for you, as you're talking about we can make this work. It's like you're willing to change things, like almost I'm feeling like you feel there's something that you could change this site and to make it better, but from what you've already submitted.
Chairman, it's not like that. We did our best foot. We put our best foot forward.
I just want to make sure I understood.
We put our best foot forward. We worked with the city. Last meeting, city staff made it approval. They just approved this project. They recommended approval. This time, they changed it to denial. That is not, means that is their prerogative, they can do that. But what did it change? Nothing. It's the same project. What we worked with them, they recommended approval, it is on record, and they changed it to denial. What did they change? What did the change of mind? I asked them, what can I do to change it to approval? Means at the end of the day, I did not get a good answer. Means what did I change? Nothing. Means in fact, what was submitted exactly was submitted the same thing. Means what you all voted in favor last time 6 out of 6 is the same exact application. I want to reiterate, we didn't even change a line. We did the exact. I was surprised. I requested the staff to take a position of a neutral, not going for denial. Go neutral means they didn't have a reasons for denial. I don't know what the reasons for denial are. Again, I don't want to put them on the spot, but at the end of the day, means you need to look, Chairman, the only reason why I said is give and take. Means when you were saying that this is not going to work, we initially started with 120 plus units. We wanted to do for higher, seniors. So we came to what, 72 units. How much did we reduce? We reduced almost a considerable amount. How did we, that is, the reason why is we need to make financially feasible project. We can't just, we can't build towers with no units. Means at the end of the day, you ask me what I can improve. If there is a bargain, if we are going to discuss, if there is something feasible, if you say that, okay, if I'll approve this project, if you give another 2,000 square foot of gym room. Yeah, it's an easy decision for me. Yes, it's a done decision. I will move forward. Means if there is anything which you don't like about this project, okay, insulation. If you're coming about insulation, how do you protect to give better insulation? I will prove that we are doing the best and will exceed it.
One thing that we're not going to do is plan from the diocese.
Yeah.
You have submitted your application. We're considering the application as it stands on its merit.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. All right, so there are some questions, and I'll open it to the commission for any follow-on questions.
Don't forget about Freddie.
Yes, Cindy and Freddie, we know you're out there. Let me start here live. Any questions of the commission or the applicant?
Yes, okay. As it relates to the 2030 master plan and how this area is designated as mixed-use community center, where it has a maximum density of 10 dwelling units per acre, and then in addition to that, from a zoning standpoint, being 2 stories versus 4 stories, the parking in front, the maximum of 10%, 3 bedrooms. Are you able to meet those standards, and have you considered those standards in terms of a product that you would develop?
Chairman, thank you for asking me that question. So this, as I told you, we are going to build a product. If you do a 2-story residential complex, means everything at the end of the day, the project has to be feasible. If you are doing if you cut about 72 units into 30 units, so means the land cost is the same. So, and the construction cost for a single floor and 2 floor, you're doing the same basement and the same roof. The cost is almost 75% of what you're doing 2 floor versus 4 floors, if you look. So it doesn't make a project viable. At the end of the day, the parking, the ecosystem, all that is created needs some kind of density. How many big, means 72 units is not a lot of units. Means if you're doing 4 acres, 4.5 acres is what we have, and 4.5 acres, 72 units is not a denser product. Means if you look at a 40 unit for next door, if you look at the Cypress Water, they're doing 40 units per acre. Means it is a denser product. Means at the end of the day, density is not the only thing I see it. I see it as a destination. When you come to the home, it needs to feel like a home. It should be welcoming, it should be quality, and it should serve your purpose. Means at the end of the day, person living here will not say, am I living on a 10 units per acre, or am I living at 20 units per acre? That is not what it is. How much amenities are there? What is that they're going to do it? Means there are different things. But Commissioner, this is the same exact thing what you approved last time. There's not even a sentence, not even a sentence change. So if you said yes 2 months back, if you're saying anything other than yes, it should be a tough decision.
Okay. Any other questions of the commission? Freddie or Cindy, any questions? You have the applicant?
I do have one question. Going back to the 10% of the 3-bedroom, would you consider going from I think you currently have 39 units or 50% of the structure slated as 3-bedroom. Would you be willing to comply with the 10% and less, the 3-bedroom requirement?
Oh, what means the reason why I've increased the 3-bedroom is I want luxury. See, people like to work from home. People like to, even though there's a 3-bedroom, 1 bedroom they would like to convert into an office. If a wife and husband, 2 people are there, they would like to have 2 offices and 1 bedroom. So a 3-bedroom does not mean a bunch of people in the house. Means you have seen all luxury mansions which are 6 bedroom, 10 bedrooms, only 2 people live. Means it's at the end of the day, the bedroom is not number of people. The reason why we are giving 3-bedroom, more 3-bedroom is we want that luxury. If you can convert 1 bedroom as a craft room, 1 bedroom. If you're means this product is looked at a product you're downsizing from a 3,000 square foot home into a small home. You're not downsizing. It means if you're targeting high-end customers, you can't give them a condo like a 1-bedroom condos. This is. I mean, I used to live in Chicago while my wife went to UIC, University of Chicago. She's a medical resident at University of Chicago. I used to live in a high-rise condo. I know what it takes. Means it is at the end of the day, every square foot of an inch of space, they use it for something different. Even though you call it a bedroom, they don't use it for a bedroom. They use it for an office room. They use for a craft room. They use for a study room. Means there are different. Like me and my family is like we only have 1 kid. Chairman, you need something?
I could hear more volume over there than you. Sorry.
I'm sorry. So means see definitely means if that is what you want, I can means at the end of the day, see we put a lot of thought into this suggesting this product, and I think this is the product which is good for our market. But what is the problem with 3 bedrooms? What is the problem? If I listen the problem, we can think, what is the problem with the 3-bedroom? If at the end of the day, it's only 1 family. If a 3-bedroom or if means right now, I live in a 4-bedroom house. Means I only have 1 daughter. So means what are the other 2 bedrooms for? Means most of the situations are like that. Means most of the empty nesters means they have more bedrooms than what we have. Means we have more cars and more bedrooms than people. That is means again means I'm not trying to take that. Means if that is a recommendation, I can look into that, sir. But if there is anything else, means that is means at the end of the day, for delivering a quality product, the mix is important. If most of the apartments are built with more 1 bedrooms, less 2 bedrooms, and more less 3 bedrooms. When you are doing a luxury product, that the reason why apartments are done like that is you are serving the entry-level community. So when you're going the luxury product, you do opposite. You don't do less. Means if you're looking for means who are really coming to, if you do the stats, who are really coming to city of Coppell? People who are well educated, a good family, and who wants to raise their kid, they're coming here. Or people who like a calm town, means something accessible to work, they're coming here. There are reasons why people are coming to Coppell. Means it's not that what you're looking at. If you want a small 1-bedroom apartments, there are already so many apartments out there. They can go and rent it there. If it means I can't make a one-bedroom luxury product, means then I need to go to downtown Dallas. That is where that segment is. That's a different segment.
Yeah. Okay.
But I can take you, I can listen to your feedback. If there is anything, if you, means one request I have, if you want to table this item and give me suggestions to work it, I'm happy to listen too. Because I want to find a middle ground to make this project successful.
Gotcha.
Means that is my goal here.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant by the commission? Okay, we'll reserve the right to come back for any other questions.
Definitely, Chair.
This is a public hearing. Is there anybody who'd like to speak for or against the proposed application? If I could get your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Ramakrishna Korada. I live in Irving, Valley Ranch area, 1123 Valley Vista Drive, Irving, 75063. My kids, I have two kids and they both go to Coppell schools. My house come under Coppell. Again, I've been in Valley Ranch area and Coppell area for last 26 years. My kids will also going to be staying here. So anything that I purchase or buy investment, I do it here in Coppell and Valley Ranch area. I will be mostly interested in that product to procure or buy the product for both my kids and for me as for investment as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello, Office Chairman and staff members. Thank you very much. My name is Srinivas Gudavali. I'm in the Cypress Waters 911 Cypress Waters Boulevard. Yeah, I like the plan what Vijay submitted, and I am proposing for a better improvement in the Coppell area. And whatever he's proposing with the 3-bedroom with the luxury condos, I'm looking around all these places. So I think I have confidence in Vijay that he definitely makes it better in that intersection. Yeah, that's what I want. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak on the proposed application? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any discussion by the commission? Is there a motion by the commission? All right. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I will move to approve PD 313R2-MF2 Lake Breeze condominium zoning change request from C Commercial to Plan Development 313 Revision 2 Multifamily 2 is subject to staff conditions.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Marr. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, before the vote, would that include the comp plan change as well? Because you
Well,
have to have.
the application is submitted.
Okay, so.
Yes.
So that's
But I want it
the
clear in the
proposed approval of the zoning change request and to approve the detailed site plan.
in his
Is that
motion.
correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Marr. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hafman. Okay, any final discussion? Okay, Cammie, would you call the roll, please?
Please respond by saying aye or nay as I call your name. Vice Chair Blankenship.
Nay.
Sorry. Commissioner Guerra.
Nay.
Chairman Haas.
Aye.
Commissioner Mauer.
Nay.
Commissioner Hafman.
Nay.
And Commissioner Bishop.
Aye.
4 in favor, 2 opposed, motion is denied.
Okay. All righty. Thank you very much. You have the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission that you could forward on to the appeal to the City Council. Okay. All righty. Item 9 on the agenda is the update on City Council items. We did review those in pre-session, And Mary or Matt, is there any other comments from staff on any other item for us? Okay. Item 10 on the agenda is adjournment. So with that, I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. It is 7:49.